Tonight, on Where's My Liquor? The Antonio Brown saga reaches its climax as he continues his narcissistic assault on the Black and Gold Brigade. In his hacking and slashing of both his reputation and goodwill towards the city of Pittsburgh, the cancer was caught up in yet another embarrassing dilemma. One of his exes came over to his house to drop off his child. This is when the woman demanded money to pay for her hair appointment as well. He had refused, but AB's former fling was persistent and refused to let him close the door. This had set off Antonio. He treated her like an opposing cornerback, setting up in a blocking stance and pancaking her onto the ground. When she called police to his house, she refused to complete a victim affidavit, so charges were not filed against the cancer. No word on if AB's ego was bruised in the process. Despite yet another black eye to his reputation, AB's lawyer believes that there is a witch hunt going on. He has openly accused the media of trying to actively defame Brown and his sterling character. Don't worry, sir, he's doing a good enough job of that by himself. This was confirmed as he no-showed a court hearing for a previous speeding incident on McNightmare Road several months earlier. More than likely giving zero fucks about it, the cancer was found guilty of reckless driving. This is when a boiling point was reached. Weeks of allegations and inquiries have given him no choice. He openly requested a trade by means of Twitter. He feels he has been used as a scapegoat by the fans and the team for far too long. The Steel City is going to miss him when he's burning their awful secondary for long touchdowns. And perhaps bitching on the sidelines for not getting the ball enough. The real ire of the fans' wrath, according to him, should be on Captain Fatfuck. He has an owner's mentality. He is far above any sort of criticism in the organization. If someone dares to call him out on the truth, quote, "they meal ticket gone." Proper grammar need not apply to such an accusation. Regardless of high tensions, he agrees to meet with the increasingly spineless Art Rooney II in a private meeting. He listens to AB's more than likely baseless accusations, and both come to the agreement that they need to go their separate ways. Despite being dunked on repeatedly by the whiteout, it's the best option for all parties involved. It's too bad there's still the issue of most of AB's salary this year being converted into a signing bonus. This was done in order to secure the money needed to franchise Le'Veon Bell. Another move backfiring horrifically. Speaking of the lost prodigal son, a final decision on his future has been made. Despite potentially flirting with the transition tag and prolonging this frustrating affair, the Steelers have chosen to cut their losses. They will neither franchise nor transition tag Le'Veon. The Bell saga is officially over. All the squabbling and posturing was merely for a lost season for both player and team. Le'Veon gets his wish and celebrates in a likable manner, by quoting Dr. Martin Luther King. May the team that signs him be warned about giving him the guaranteed money he desires. Smells like a future New York Jet to me. Good fucking riddance. In terms of the AB Ben Civil War, the team, like most of us would, has chosen to back Captain Fatfuck. Kevin Colbert has praised Ben as a great leader of men, a dynamic paragon of positive values. He has no issues with him having a segment on sports radio to potentially air his grievances. The reality is he's won championships in a previous football age. If these young ruffians had any brains, they'd listen to his statements. The man has 52 kids to take care of every week. Which has me wondering, how many women was this guy with when he was younger? I know he had a reputation back then, but 52? Lame jokes aside, Antonio Brown needs to evolve into his final form. His pulpit, the self-satisfying grounds of Instagram. It may be a pivot for more guaranteed money. It may be him refusing to answer Big Ben's calls. It's time to introduce his new identity to the world. Mr. Big Chest.
Dad,
what the hell kind of nickname is that? I can't tell if that's an uninspired kids show villain or a wrestler opening a house show in Wyoming. Let's watch this out with Le'Veon's newest rap album.
No, we not breaking no rules. I got a stomach, you fools. I'm working, don't need no tools. They wanna do what they do.
I regret that decision. Just like most of us watching the cancer bash the Steelers organization for roughly the 64th time this offseason on a platform with LeBron James, who knows a thing or two about ripping a city's heart out with a move. The cancer takes no blame for how things have gone between him and the organization. He even boasts that he doesn't have an ego! That is such fucking bullshit!
Mike, I want to congratulate you on a great career for being number one for so long. I hope this message doesn't put you to sleep like Sweeney did. But no, for real, you're the sports pope. Congrats on your success on your app. I hear subscribers is booming.
The Black and Gold Brigade has had enough of the situation. They want to get a move done as soon as possible. The inevitable is at our doorstep. The teams put in their final bids, such as the Raiders, Redskins, Titans, and Broncos. The Buffalo Bills were very close to having a deal done, until the cancer called it fake news and would refuse to go there. Threatened with the realistic possibility of going AWOL instead of reporting to football Siberia, the trade itself was sent to the Gulag. At the end of the day, the final team standing is the Oakland Raiders. Once again learning nothing from their previous exploits with high-profile acquisitions, they feel that Antonio is going to be a big piece to their move to Las Vegas next year. So they acquire him for a laughable sum, a 3rd and a 5th round pick. It may be significantly below market value, but then you remember the Mr. Big Chest, deliberately committed self-sabotage and destroyed his appeal to other teams. Demanding a new contract doesn't exactly endear yourself to the league. The fact that the Steelers chose to swallow over $21 million in dead cap, yet not even get a 2nd round pick for a Pro Bowl caliber wideout is a damning statement. The sad truth of the matter is, I don't even care about the awful return. Cutting cancer from an organization is never easy, and the Steelers just proved it. The cost of this transaction being the Pittsburgh Steelers revealing themselves to be spineless. The Black and Gold Brigade merely capitulated to ego and petulance. They let Antonio Brown pick and choose where he wanted to go by his actions. They refused to nip potential issues in the bud and instead let them grow and fester. AB is just the latest example. Rewarding his evolution into a completely unlikable cancer, the Oakland Raiders suddenly developed a windfall of money and rewarded Antonio Brown's temper tantrum. It's a payment near equal to his ego. A $20 million pay raise, over $30 million guaranteed. So you're telling me the Raiders will cry poor and not pay a generational defensive talent in Khalil Mack, yet open several vaults for a malcontent on the wrong side of 30? Remember the last time a team tried placating AB? We got this situation. Also, didn't the Raiders try this buy-low stunt before with Randy Moss? I'm just waiting for the moment where they trade him to the Patriots a few years down the road at this point. Remember what Larry Fitzgerald warned Brown about. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Rambling aside, thus hypothetically ends one of the more frustrating eras of Steeler history. A time where they boasted incredible talents never seen before, only to let their own arrogance consume their ambitions whole. A group that should have at least competed in a Super Bowl got nowhere near it. They only have themselves to blame. You could say the Black and Gold Brigade has hit rock bottom, but there is much further to fall down this pit. Unless they can bolster the defense quickly, the Pittsburgh Steelers may be in for some very lean years ahead. Men like Le'Veon and Davey are merely symptoms of a greater issue at hand. No, this more than likely goes to the very top of the food chain. And until Art Rooney II realizes that the old ways will not work in this new age of football, this fate will keep repeating itself. They may have cut out some of the cancer, but many of those elements still remain. I fear for the future. I lack the confidence that this organization will change. The Steelers are far too eager to embrace the smell of their own shit, and the stubborn mule fails to realize his own demise until it's far too late. As the rest of the football world dances to this team's self-destruction, so are the days of our Steelers.
He missed it.
More often than not, episodic series like Days of Our Steelers are a never-ending cycle of news. There are times where you don't get the comforts of home when trying to access information. Public Wi-Fi has significant security issues. It's very easy for an unsuspecting news gatherer to have information compromised and at the mercy of men like, say, Mr. Big Chest. Fortunately for people like us, we have options at being able to defend from this menace. In particular, ExpressVPN. It's honestly like having a steel curtain of protection around your information when out and about. See what I did there? With state-of-the-art encryption and apps available for every device in your mobile arsenal, it will protect your technological assets from hackers or any sort of offensive threat. Especially when I'm staying the night at a hotel, let's just say the Wi-Fi can be suspicious. With just one click, I have access to world-class protection and server locations in 94 countries. It's all the comfort I need on the road. Security in public settings is paramount. For less than $7 a month, this can be yours. There's even a 30-day money-back guarantee if you aren't fully satisfied. In fact, you can be able to get 3 months of world-class encryption free of charge. Find out by going to expressvpn.com/utree. Click the link in the description below to get started. Security is no laughing matter. AB can tell you that firsthand. Don't take any chances. Get ExpressVPN and keep your digital information safe when out in public.